Hi, welcome to the Motion Picture Notion. I'm your host, Gabriel Burton. A lot of my favorite channels on YouTube, particularly ones that deal in movie reviews, they do Halloween specials, and that's something that I've never really done before. And as I review probably more horror movies than anything else, it seems only appropriate that I do the same thing. So I'd like to invite you all to the first annual Halloween special. For one of my followers, the awesome Lorenzo Bros, I would just like to say that I do have Cube 2, Hypercube, and Cube 0 paid for, ready to go on my Google Play. There are just two videos that I would like to talk about before I get to that, but I have not forgotten about you. It's happening, and it's happening for the Halloween special. Anyway, moving on. For my first video, I would like to discuss the 2020 film, The Invisible Man. Now, funnily enough, I've been wanting to talk about this movie for a while now. I just haven't gotten around to it. I have like an idea about something that was just, oh, damn, I want to do this, I want to do that. So The Invisible Man just kind of like disappeared. And it's really a shame because that is one of the best movies of this year so far. Not that that's really saying much. There have really only been like three really good movies this year, I would say. The Hunt, The Invisible Man, and Bill and Ted. When I had heard that Leigh Whannell, or Leigh Whannell, I don't know how you pronounce his name, essentially one of the writers of Saw, the writer of all the Insidious movies, and a pretty damn good director. He's not like James Wan level, but he's comparable. He would make a good James Wan substitute. Anyways, when I heard that he was directing this movie, I was like, that's freaking awesome. When I saw that Elizabeth Moss was in it, I was like, okay, I kind of see where they're going with this. I see what this movie's going to be. It's going to be an allegory, sort of, for an abusive relationship. Normally, in this day and age, that would make me nervous because everything is so hyper woke, and it's not even necessarily that it's woke, it's that they have to just beat you over the head with what the point is. And it's like, hey, first and foremost, this is supposed to be a film, right? This is supposed to be about something. You have to dig a little deeper to contemplate what it's really about. But I figured that in the case of this movie, he would do it right. And he did. Right from the opening of this movie, it's done right. There is literally no dialogue. You see her laying in bed next to this dude. She wakes up in the middle of the night, slips out of bed really quietly, starts packing her shit, keeps looking to make sure that he's still asleep. And just her acting with no words, and situationally you know exactly what's going on. This is an inhuman monster who has her essentially kept captive, and she is trying to very quietly slip out into the night without awakening the beast. Some stuff happens, and an alarm goes off, the lights are, I don't remember if it was the dogs barked or whatever. Shit happens, and all the lights come on in the house, and she's like, shit! And so she just makes a beeline, right? And she has her friend waiting just outside the property to come and pick her up, and she hops in the car, ready to go. All of a sudden, this dude just comes barreling at the car and just punches the window, and they freaking drive away. So, which was intense. And right off the bat, we know everything that we need to know with virtually no dialogue. Great directing. Now, to be fair, it's not a perfect movie. There are some pretty big plot holes, particularly when it comes to the Invisible Man doing shit in public places. It's sort of okay, really? Nobody got a video of that? There wasn't a security camera? You do have to suspend disbelief in certain parts, as you do with a lot of good horror movies, but I do know that there were some people out there who were just I'm sorry, I just couldn't get past that. I could forgive it because the movie was very well directed, and it's we live in an age that's just so much technology that it's kind of hard to account for all those things sometimes. Elizabeth Moss is fantastic in it, as she is fantastic in everything I've ever seen her in. I haven't seen A Handmaid's Tale because it sounds just super freaking depressing to me. But I think that their casting her was not really a coincidence. It was very specific, and it was marketed to not just horror fans of, the Insidious franchise, but also more of the feminist crowd or something like that who watch A Handmaid's Tale. They picked her specifically because there was an allegory, there was a point there, something that was supposed to be relatable in this really fantastical story. And that is essentially not being believed, made to feel like you're going crazy. Nobody believes you because there's this invisible thing, and in real life it wouldn't be invisible, it's just it happens behind closed doors. It's a manipulative, evil, vindictive thing. And the fact that this is an evil, vindictive dude, but he's found this technology to essentially, like Predator, you know, to essentially bend light so that you can't see him, that's even more terrifying. He screws with her, slaps her around, and like the person that she's staying with, you know, who has a daughter, by the way, will see her standing there looking all crazed with like a knife, like, whoa, yeah, like, maybe this was a mistake. Maybe you can't be here. Being isolated, you know, which is what happens in a lot of abusive relationships. They cut you off from your friends. They cut you off from your friends. They keep you, you know. They make you feel crazy. So the fact that they added this sort of, not really paranormal, it was actually more of like a scientific, pseudo-scientific spin on the whole thing. It evoked as much like real emotion and real terror as it did fictional emotion and terror. Okay, there was something very real and deeply disturbing about the concept and its execution. Plot holes aside, I think that Hollywood, well, I want to do a video about Hollywood later. I've been taking jabs at them all this year, all this season, because I'm really getting sick of shit. But they should really take some cues from The Invisible Man, because that's how you make a movie about feminism. That is how you subtly put a point across without treating your audience like they're freaking idiots. It's done with craft, it's done with skill, it's done without forgetting the fact that you are making a movie, that you are making a horror film first and foremost. It's not a feminist movie with horrific undertones, it's a horror movie with feminist undertones. And that's the difference, alright? Not that like Black Christmas shit where they're literally in the dialogue saying what the movie is trying to say. This is why nobody takes this shit seriously, because it's stupid, it's dumb, it's like a pissed off like high schooler wrote it. It's like if you have a message or something like that, get it across with some talent, with a little bit of finesse. Allude to it. Don't just present it on a silver platter, because then it's like you're going to alienate people who did go out to see a horror movie or whatever the hell it's supposed to be. But I knew that Lee Whannell was going to, I knew that he was going to be able to nail it. Hopefully The Invisible Man is a film that can inspire, you know, good movies with a message. Here's hoping. Who knows? Again, I got a video to do on Hollywood and streaming services and the state of things right now, but I'm going to probably wait until at least November for that, because I want to talk about some freaking scary movies. But anyway, guys, that's my first video of this Halloween special. I will see you very soon, and that's all she wrote.